In this video, we have part 6 of what each team should do at the MLB trade deadline. We have the NL West edition today. Before I start, though, I would like to say there will be no Juan Soto trades in this video because he just got put on the trade block just a couple of days ago, and I didn't get a chance for the first 5 episodes to make a potential Juan Soto trade, so he won't be in this series at all, but I might make a separate video talking about where I think he will get traded. Let's start it off with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers are a very good team, and they really don't need much help. They're already a World Series contender, but they could make their team even better if they wanted to and add to their team. The Dodgers lost Chris Taylor to injury recently, and they kind of filled his hole with Trace Thompson, and he's been playing great. So honestly, I really don't think they need help with that offense. I think if they were to trade for anybody, I think they would look for the starting pitching market. For the Dodgers, I like Frankie Montas. Montas is probably the top starter on the market right now, with Luis Castillo recently being traded to the Mariners. On the season, Montas is 4-9 with a 3.18 ERA and 109 strikeouts to only 28 walks. Don't let that record fool you. He's pitched great. He's on the worst team in his division. He's not getting any run support. So don't look at the record. Look at the ERA. Look at the strikeouts. He's been good. In return, I have the A's getting pitchers Maddox Bruns and Gavin Stone, as well as outfielder James Outman. All 3 of these guys are in the Dodgers' top 20 prospects, and I think it makes sense for them as well. Frankie Montas is a very good starter, and to add in that rotation with Clayton Kershaw, Tony Gonsolin, Tyler Anderson, I mean, they would be very good, especially with Buehler coming back next year or whenever he's coming back. On the A's side of things, they're selling. They're trying to trade anybody that they possibly can, get whatever they can, and I think they'd be happy with this trade. So let's go ahead and keep it going with the San Diego Padres. One place the Padres could definitely improve is their outfield. Trent Grisham and Will Myers have been pretty underwhelming, and Jurickson Profar's been okay, but they could definitely use another bat. For the Padres, I like All-Star Ian Happ. Happ is batting .274 with 9 home runs and 42 RBIs this year. The Padres could use him as an outfielder, a DH, whatever they really want to do, and they would have him for the rest of this year and next year as well. I also have the Padres taking on Kyle Hendricks' contract. I think this would make sense. I mean, it wouldn't hurt the Padres to have another arm. You know, he's not having the greatest of years, but he wouldn't be awful in San Diego. And this would definitely make it easier to trade for Happ. In return, I have the Cubs getting one of the Padres' better prospects in Luis Campusano, and then I also have them getting 23-year-old left-handed pitcher Noel Vela. I think this trade makes sense. I think Happ would be good in San Diego, and although you do have to give up one of your better prospects in Luis Campusano, I think you'd be happy with 1.5 years of Ian Happ, at the very least. Let's keep it going with the San Francisco Giants, my team. Ugh, they have stunk recently. They could use some offense. They could use some pitching. They could use anything right now. And this trade that I have right here is very, very unlikely. I made all of these trades in this series about a month ago now. And, well, at the time, this trade made a lot of sense. Now it makes very little sense, but I'm still going to put it in the video. When I made this trade about a month ago, it made a lot of sense. Wilson Contreras to the Giants. At the time, Bart was in the minors, and Austin Wynns was the backup to Kurt Casale, and the offensive production there was just so bad. The defense was fine, but the offense was really, really lacking, so Wilson Contreras would have made a lot of sense. But now with the Giants losing like they have been, it doesn't make a ton of sense at all. But I still have it here in this video because I don't really have time to change it, because the trade deadline is like 24 hours away by the time this video gets out, so yeah. In return here, I had the Cubs getting pitcher Mason Black and outfielder Grant McCray. I really like Grant McCray and Mason Black as a Giants fan, but especially McCray. In his limited time in the minors, he's been really good, so I think the Cubs would like that trade, but like I said, very, very unlikely. Let's move on to the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that is going to be selling at the deadline, and I think they're going to trade their only All-Star from this year, Joe Mantiply. In 38 and a third innings, Mantiply has a 2.35 ERA, 38 strikeouts to 2 walks, the best strikeout to walk ratio in baseball. I thought for a while, who's a team that's a contender that could use a left-handed reliever? And I thought, what about the Cardinals? I know the Cardinals have a really, really good bullpen, but they don't have a lot of lefties. Add Mantiply, and they might have one of the best bullpens in the league, and they could definitely use that going into October. In return, I have the Diamondbacks getting Lisandro Espinosa. He's an infielder. He's only 19 years old. He's kind of built like a second baseman. He's 5'7", I think 155 pounds. So yeah, definitely second baseman type build. But he's definitely interesting. Not a lot of experience in the minor leagues, but I mean, I think he's a guy that the Diamondbacks might like. But I gotta say, out of all my trades in this video, this one's gotta be my favorite. I like it. Let's finish it off with the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies, I think they're not a great team, but I think they're in a really good position at the deadline. I think they got a lot of trade pieces that they could trade for some young guys, but young guys that are close to being called up, that could maybe be impactful in the next couple of seasons for them. And one of these guys I think the Rockies are going to trade is Alex Colomé. In 39 and a third innings, Colomé is 2-3 with a 3.20 ERA. So he's pitched pretty good, especially considering he pitches half of his games at Coors Field, so I think there will be a number of teams that would like his services. And I think the team that ultimately gets him is the New York Mets. The Mets could use some bullpen help. They've got a pretty good bullpen, but it never hurts to add guys. And you could get Colomé for fairly cheap, as you can see in my trade here. In return, I have the Rockies getting Kramer Robertson from the Mets. I think Robertson's like the perfect guy for the Rockies. He's still fairly young, he's 27, but he could help them. This year, he could kind of get a feel of what it's like to play in Coors Field, and he could help them next year and the year after that, obviously, assuming that he plays well. Considering Colomé doesn't really have a ton of trade value, Robertson could be a little bit risky, but I think the Rockies would make this trade. So that wraps up this series. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comment sections down below. How were my trades? Were they good? Were they bad? Were they eh? And I'll see you in the next video.